Do you want to burn dangerous visceral fat, the fat around your organs causing inflammation and pressure? Well, this is the lesson for you. It all starts with breakfast, the first meal of the day, or better yet, the right type of breakfast. I'll be sharing with you 7 breakfast options that you would consume every day for a week to melt stubborn fat. You don't have to count calories, rely on willpower. In fact, they taste delicious, they're easy to make, and you'll notice results within a matter of days. Let's start with option number 1. Eggs, bacon, and avocado. I call this the holy trinity of fat burning. And you want to make sure you cook it all in grass-fed butter. The eggs contain amazing nutrients. I call eggs Mother Nature's multivitamin. One of those nutrients eggs contains is choline. Choline is so important for liver function. Your liver is a master detoxification organ, and it's really important for fat loss. A lot of people who have extra visceral fat have fat around their liver and other organs. And choline is one of the most important nutrients to pull fat from the liver, detoxify that liver, and help you burn fat, especially if you have something called fatty liver disease. You do want to make sure you consume the eggs with the yolk because the yolk contains most of the nutrients. It contains healthy saturated fat, cholesterol, and antioxidants that lower inflammation and help you burn fat. The bacon is also obviously delicious, but when you find organic pastured bacon and add that to the eggs, you get a healthy dose of protein and saturated fat, which is important for burning body fat. And of course, the avocado. Look, avocados are loaded in potassium. Potassium is important to support insulin sensitivity, and a lot of people who struggle with belly fat have something called the cortisol belly, and potassium could help tame cortisol. As a matter of fact, avocados contain double the amount of potassium, twice as much potassium as a banana with a fraction of the sugar. As a matter of fact, there's barely any sugar in avocado. Avocados have phytosterols, B vitamins, again, help with stress and cortisol and for fat loss. So you want to have 4 to 6 eggs, 3 strips of bacon, and half to a whole medium-sized avocado. You want to cook the eggs and the bacon. Well, the bacon you could cook in its own fat, but the eggs you want to cook in grass-fed butter. Butter is an amazing fat-burning food. It withstands high heat, so you could cook it at high temperatures. It isn't oxidized. It's very healthy for you. So ditch the bagel, and your first option here, eggs, bacon, and avocado. Let's move on to option number 2. This is going to be a fatty cup of coffee. First and foremost, coffee beans. The right type of coffee beans, and I'll outline how to find the right type, are loaded with a powerful polyphenol called chlorogenic acid, CGA. CGA has been shown to be fat-burning, antioxidant, liver support. Studies show that when you consume high CGA coffee, it helps your body burn more body fat. It supports your liver with detoxification and extra fat loss, and it normalizes your cholesterol levels. I'm talking about the bad cholesterol that leads to heart disease, similar to the way statins do this without the side effects of taking statins. And when I say fatty cup of coffee, you want to include 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter in your coffee and 1 tablespoon of MCT oil. I already shared that grass-fed butter is loaded with amazing nutrients and saturated fat, tastes delicious as well. The MCT oil is an additional fat-burning tip here because MCT, which stands for medium-chain triglycerides, and your body boosts this ketone production because it's burning stored fat, belly fat. Those MCTs in the coffee will help your body break down fat for fuel. And you want to add a pinch of sea salt to the coffee as well because you could lose some minerals with a lot of coffee. So you want to replenish that with high-quality salt. So you want to use coffee beans that are organic, tested for contaminants, and medium roasted. Once the coffee beans are roasted beyond medium, like dark roast, it loses about 75% of its fat-burning polyphenols, CGA. And studies show, there's a Norwegian study that shows women who drank high CGA brews lost twice as much weight as the women who drank low CGA brews. So you want to have a cup or 2 of coffee, 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter, 1 tablespoon of MCT oil or MCT powder, and a pinch of sea salt. Mix it together. That's your breakfast. You're going to notice more energy, more fat loss, more focus, productivity. You're going to feel incredible with a fatty cup of coffee. Personally, I use Purity Coffee. You could find their beans over at ketocampcoffee.com. Use the coupon code KETOCAMP for 15% off. And I'll drop a link for the MCT oil in a glass bottle that's organic that I use in the notes down below. And the cool thing about having a fatty cup of coffee, there's no crash, there's no cravings, you feel satisfied, and it keeps you going until lunchtime. Let's get into option number 3 here. This is what I call an ancestral powerhouse. It's going to be steak and eggs cooked in beef tallow. This is a high protein, high fat, zero carb breakfast. This combination helps your body build lean muscle and preserve that lean muscle, which helps your metabolism burn more calories, helps you feel full and satiated, which is very important because it holds you over until lunchtime so you don't snack in between those meals. It keeps insulin low, which is important for fat loss. And there's a thermogenesis effect where your body burns more calories by consuming steak and eggs. I already outlined the benefits of eggs. Let's talk real quick about steak. Ideally, you want it to be grass-fed and grass-finished, and that steak contains B vitamins, minerals. It contains quality protein and fat that allows your body to tap into stored fat for energy. It tastes delicious, and a lot of people think red meat's bad for you. We'll address that conversation a little bit later in this lesson. So you want to cook that steak and eggs in beef tallow. Beef tallow is one of the best fats to cook your food in. It's an animal fat. It's a saturated fat. It withstands high heat temperatures. It doesn't break down and oxidize like vegetable oils or seed oils. It's a fantastic fat to cook your steak and eggs in. Now, if you don't have beef tallow, you could still use the grass-fed butter we spoke about earlier. When you have steak and eggs, you will eat like a king and burn fat like a beast. Let's move on to option number 4, day number 4 here. This is going to be a fatty protein shake. This is beneficial if you're on the go and you don't really have time to prepare and make breakfast. You simply want to grab 1 to 2 scoops of a high quality grass-fed protein. Personally, I use Equip Foods protein, which is 100% grass-fed beef protein isolate, and you could get theirs over at equipfoods.com/Ben Azadi for 20% off. You want to put that in 2 cups of unsweetened organic coconut milk or unsweetened organic macadamia nut milk. Add ice, and here's a bonus tip for fat loss: add 5 grams of creatine. Creatine is great for mitochondria, fat loss, muscle mass, and overall just metabolic function. So you want to blend that all together, and then you want to drink it. That's going to be your breakfast. It's fast, it's clean, it keeps your blood sugar stable, it keeps you in a fat-burning state. Unlike fruit smoothies, oatmeal, oat milk, cereal, you want to avoid that and stick with a high-quality protein shake. Let's move on to day 5 of your protocol here. This is going to be soft-boiled eggs and macadamia nuts. Again, this is a great option if you want something really fast and clean for fat burning. The reason why we say soft-boiled eggs, and you want to consume about 5 to 6 soft-boiled eggs here versus hard-boiled eggs, is because the runnier the yolk, the more nutrients that are preserved. And we already outlined all the nutrients in the egg yolk. So soft-boiled is where it's at. And then macadamia nuts are healthy fats that keep you full and satiated. So 5 to 6 soft-boiled eggs, a handful of macadamia nuts, easy to prepare in advance, loaded with monounsaturated fats and protein, 0 sugar, and it keeps you full for hours and keeps you in a fat-burning state for hours as well. Let's move on to day number 6 here. This is going to be avocado cups with a high-quality protein source drizzled with olive oil. You want to grab a whole avocado, and hey, if you're really hungry, grab 2 and cut them in half. You want to drizzle it with olive oil and sea salt. Olive oil, by the way, if you find organic extra virgin olive oil, great for fat loss, great for insulin resistance, great for metabolic health, loaded with polyphenols, great for the brain because it has a high concentration of a very powerful polyphenol called oleocanthols, which actually help this autophagy process in the brain, which essentially means it cleans out the damaged cells, the dysfunctional cells in your brain when you consume it. And then you want to pair it with a clean source of protein. That could be organic chicken, wild-caught salmon. If you want to add some eggs, that's fine, but a high-quality protein and fat source. This is going to get you fiber, healthy fats, amino acids that help with muscle building and fat loss, and it's going to keep your blood sugar levels stabilized so you have amazing energy levels while you're in a fat burning state. This brings us to day number 7. It's actually a trick answer here, and that is no food, you're going to eat from your body fat, meaning fasting. You're going to skip breakfast here. When you skip breakfast and wait until lunchtime, you allow your body to tap into stored fat for energy, the belly fat, the love handles, the visceral fat, and your body then produces ketones, which helps your metabolism burn more calories. It lowers inflammation. It gives your brain a different fuel source so you feel focused and productive as well. You boost the process called autophagy, which is that cellular cleanup process. You fix the gut. It also increases growth hormone in the body. When you skip breakfast on this day, growth hormone is a fat-burning hormone, anti-aging hormone, and it supercharges insulin sensitivity. If you have extra weight right now, you are insulin resistant. When you skip breakfast for a day or even multiple days, you achieve insulin sensitivity. The amazing thing about this option is that you are essentially putting your body in this natural detox mode, and you don't even have to take a bunch of supplements or do a coffee enema. It's all done through this fast when you skip breakfast. Bonus points here, if you get in cardio or a strength training workout in that fasted state, you'll actually burn even more fat, because when you go into a workout, whether it's a strength training workout, a cardio session with a meal in your stomach, meaning you had something to eat prior to the workout, you're burning the calories from the food first before you go back to your body fat. But when you do it fasted, like this option here, you go and you start burning body fat much faster. Those are bonus points for those who want to achieve exceptional results here. Now, before I get to your questions, I want to let you know about something we're doing in just a matter of days. It's called my 3-day fat burn challenge. It's free. And for 3 days, I'm going to dive deep into the principles of my upcoming book, Metabolic Freedom, and share with you how to burn fat, how to restore your metabolism, lower inflammation, balance your hormones every day for 3 days in a row. There will be a 90-minute session with me, and I'll show you exactly how your metabolism works, the foods to avoid, the foods to eat, simple things to do to burn fat, feel good, and achieve the health you've always dreamed of. This is a completely free challenge, and you could get signed up over at burnfatchallenge.com. You could also scan the QR code on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, or go to the notes of this video or podcast and click on that burnfatchallenge.com. Let's get to your questions. Question number 1, can I swap out butter with ghee? Yes, you can. A lot of people who are more lactose sensitive might want to do this option because ghee is clarified butter. You remove the lactose, just make sure it's grass-fed ghee. You could also use coconut oil, avocado oil, and even duck fat as a healthy cooking fat or oil. The next question is this: what breaks a fast? What can I have during that day I'm skipping breakfast? You want to consume water, electrolytes, and that's it. I don't recommend coffee here. Tea should be safe, especially green tea could be beneficial for fat loss, but essentially just water and sea salt on that morning you're skipping breakfast. The next question is this: if I follow this 7-day routine week after week, will I get results? Yes. I just gave you 7 options. Follow it. And I gave you so many different options to mix and match. If there's an option here that you really love, you could consume that multiple days of the week. That's totally fine. And if you hit a plateau, which sometimes it does happen over the span of weeks and months, then you can mix things up by practicing longer fasts, by doing what I call metabolic flexing. And I'm going to outline a lot of that during my 3-day challenge over at burnfatchallenge.com. The next question is this: should I be concerned about eating all this red meat, saturated fat, and cholesterol that I'm suggesting here? No, you shouldn't. We've been brainwashed to believe cholesterol is bad for you, saturated fat's bad for you, fat makes you fat. That's the opposite of the truth. And unfortunately, a lie repeated often enough becomes the truth. So, with that being said, cholesterol is actually vital for hormone production, for brain function, for fat loss and longevity. Don't be afraid to eat the fat. The fat is amazing for your body fat. The fat is amazing for your hormones. Cholesterol builds all of your hormones. And just one more point to make here: more people die from heart disease with normal to low cholesterol than with high cholesterol. So don't be afraid of fat. There is a term I outline in my book, Metabolic Freedom, called lipophobia, which is the fear of dietary fat based off of 50 plus years of propaganda and misinformation. Don't fall into the trap of the bad information that has been given year after year. Cholesterol and saturated fat is your friend. You're going to notice in just a matter of days of following this protocol, more fat loss, more energy, hormones become balanced, inflammation is reduced. I'm very excited for you to try out this protocol. Share this episode with a friend. If you're listening on the podcast, leave it a rating and review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And hey, if you loved this lesson, you're going to love a previous lesson I just published, speaking of fasting, on 3 gigantic fasting mistakes I've made, how you could not make those mistakes and get amazing results with fasting. Check out this clip. I'll see you in that video. It actually backfires and causes weight loss resistance. When you go into a fast as a sugar burner, it's like trying to run a marathon without training. You'll crash, you'll crave, you'll binge. Research shows that 93% of people in the United States are sugar burners, meaning they rely on glucose for energy.